Would or should the Dallas Stars trade Jason Robertson this offseason? Let's talk about it here on DLS. This is the Stars Pod, along with Craig Ludwig and Sam Nestler. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us. So what do you think, guys? There's been rumors for over a week now. We've talked about it on our show, which you guys should go listen to, and thoroughly, about this Jason Robertson trade rumor. And we understand some of the reasons why, whether it's to open up cap space or perhaps avoid a possible big salary bump when he has his next contract because he's still an RFA, but he also could demand as a goal scorer a pretty high dollar amount. And that could mean trouble and other, whether it's negotiations or other players not being able to be signed or having to move space to keep him on that. So there's all those things, and we can get into that. But on the other side, there's the thing that we've been talking about since the playoff exit, which is the stylistic way of his game. Is he a playoff scorer? Well, against the Edmonton Oilers in the conference final, the answer is yes. But in some of the other rounds, the answer is maybe, maybe not. And we've seen both in his young career. So let's get into it a little bit more specifically. What do you guys think? And then, Sam, I want you to give us the latest update about maybe cooling that off a bit. But why would you or would you not trade Jason Robertson?
Well, when you ask the question, would or should, my first reaction would be, if it's going to help you get to at least the finals, then you have to look at it. If you believe that moving a player that is a 30, 35, 40 goal scorer in that neighborhood and 80 to 90 points every year, those are players that every team wants, right? So if you believe that you can bring a player in or two players to take up maybe for what he does offensively, but can bring a little bit of another element that you're looking for, then my answer would be yes, because the bottom line is you can't fall in love with your players when you're a general manager or owners, and you have to be willing to do what's best to get your team to win a championship. So simply put, if that's what this organization believes and they have target people that they can bring in and the dollars work, the dollars always have to work, then I would be open to it.
Yeah, I think that you said it yesterday or on one of our shows. If they're going to bring in someone in return that is a similar type of player or similar couple of type of players, that's not going to move the needle for us, right? I don't think they need that. They have a guy who is proven to score. I'm pointing at his bobblehead. It's a guy that is proven to score a lot of goals. He's proven that he can do it a little bit in the playoffs. He just hasn't done it consistently enough. But the key here is being harder to play against is the theme around this team right now. Since that season ended, Craig Ludwig's been talking about it all season long. We know that is something they probably need to do to get over this hump. If that's the answer, then yes, trade him. If you're trading him and you're getting back 1-2 players that can change your identity a little bit, give you more of that, I think this team, the way it looks right now and who we expect to kind of re-sign, has plenty of regular season goals, especially if they're able to bring back Granlund, Duchesne, guys that have proven to do it in the regular season. The playoffs and the grit and the other ways to create space for those type of guys is what this team needs. That's the only way I see this being a trade. Or the other side of it is what you said. If they truly believe that he's going to ask for a number that they're just not going to be able to get to. I mean, we're hearing $14 million for Marner in that area. If that's what he's going to ask for, this team just may not be able to keep him past this year, and they might just want to trade him to not lose him for nothing.
I mean,
or have to deal
part
with
of
that.
it is he's an RFA after this year being 25, 26. So they have him under control for at least 2 years if they want. The qualifying offer is not 8 figures. So, I mean, it's a lot, but it's under 10. So they could have him this year and one more year after that. So they don't have to panic sell of, oh, we may not want to match his number, so let's trade him now. Well, the values are. That's not really what they need to do. But I don't think they should trade Jason Robertson because of things I've said on the show, and I'll repeat them. He is a natural goal scorer. He has an inherent ability, a knack, if you will, to put the puck in the net, which is not easy to find. They drafted him. They have seen that he can score, and he did so in the conference finals the last 2 years. Remember, he was hurt at the last game of the regular season, so when he did come back against the Winnipeg Jets in the second round, he wasn't anywhere near, and he had to get up to speed really quickly, and he didn't look great. in that round. But as that series with Edmonton got better, he started to score. He got his confidence going. And it's the same thing we saw in this back half of the regular season. But I am not so bullish on that I would not listen to what Luds or Sam said when it comes to a reasonable offer. If you blow me away with something, say this is an offer too good to pass up, I'm not saying I won't trade Jason. I'm saying it better be a heck of a haul, whether it's futures and now or just futures, so it opens up space so you can go sign a big free agent and fill that with somebody that maybe you think is more of a playoff guy. I actually think that there are other players that are currently on your roster that were more underwhelming in the playoffs than Jason Robertson, who didn't necessarily have the excuse of, well, they got hurt and they were dealing with something coming into the playoffs or when they got back into the lineup. So when I say all that, and I agree that to Sam's assertion that there are enough goals in the regular season in this group with or without Jason Robertson, there are some other guys that could be part of that equation that I might be more willing to get rid of. Maybe they don't have the value that Robo has, but to me, I don't want to give up on my talent. I want I believe they can win a Stanley Cup with Jason Robertson on their roster. Can they win it better without him? Convince me. I'm open for that.
Here's and Sam said one word in everything that he said to me that pops in this whole conversation. It's identity.
Yep.
And so as an organization, you have to know what you want your identity to be. Do we want to be, or do the Dallas Stars want to be and have an identity of a team that is entertaining during the course of 82 games? And they are. A team that can be in the top 5 in the league of scoring goals without leaning on their goaltender to win hockey games. So if that identity you want is that, then you reel it back again. That's what you get. We've seen this. And it doesn't mean that Jason Robertson has to come or go or stay or whatever it is, but you're going to have to give up something to change your identity a little bit to be that team that's harder to play against. I mean, you're looking at the two teams that are playing in the finals right now. Game 1, they combined for over 110 hits. Last night, after 4 games of playing the same thing, they're somewhere around 70 combined hits. So, for Dallas this year, it may have taken them 3 or 4 games to get to 60 or 70 hits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but that's how when you play, you guys have heard me say this, when you play the same team every other night for 14 days, you have to find a way to push the other team out of the equation. I don't know if Dallas can do that. They've done it. If you want to even go back and look at this, this series or this playoffs, they did it leaning on 2 guys, and they did it the goal scoring of Rantanen and the goaltending of Jake Ottinger. You need more people on board to be able to get to the end of the road. So if that comes to the cost of Jason Robertson, Mason Marchment, a couple defensemen, whatever that is, you have to change it. But that's to the guys upstairs that put everything together and say, this is how we're going to get through Edmonton. This is how we're going to get through the Florida Panthers. But that's what you have to do. We can't just continue to outscore our mistakes and outscore our poor coverage at times.
Now, Sam, there was a cooling off a bit because after all these Robertson rumors were swirling around, whether it was last night or I think it was technically published this morning on 32 Thoughts, you heard and brought it onto our show on Friday about some things.
Yeah.
About maybe tap the brakes a little bit on all these rumors.
Yeah, it felt like it was a little bit of a, like I said it on Friday's show, either the Dallas Stars got a little more antsy, and Jim Nill is not an antsy type of guy, but maybe the team just said, let's put some feelers out there right away because we know all the stuff that happened with Edmonton and how dramatically and emotionally that ended. The other side of it is maybe teams saw that Dallas was in a position where they might have to make those decisions, and they jumped on it. And that's why Jason Robertson's name was kind of out there. So Elliot Friedman said, I think everything that was reported during the week about Jason Robertson was accurate. Dallas was reeling after the Edmonton loss, DeBoer fire, and all the things that came up with it. But Elliot said, I got a call during the game, which was game 4 on Thursday in Florida, saying Dallas is dialing this back a little bit, and we'll see. He followed that up with, if Jason Robertson would have gotten traded, it would have been for one of two things. One, a great player in return, or two, could they recoup what they gave up to get Rantanen, which could allow them to either get draft picks, get a good young player, or replenish themselves. Because we know Jim Nill's given up a bunch of picks. They gave up Logan Stankoven. They've kind of gone against the grain to get Rantanen and get where they are right now. I think the key there is, what is the return? And on the flip side, going with Luds, the identity, if they don't trade Jason Robertson, figure out a way to find the right people for him and for Hintz and for the scorers, so you're not relying on only that rush. You're creating space for your then scoring players within the group.
It makes sense. So what do you think? Should the Dallas Stars trade Jason Robertson this offseason?